So in this lab, we're going to be looking at endothermic and exothermic reactions. I just want to remind you that endothermic reactions are going to have heat coming into them, right? And so that means they get colder, right? And then exothermic reactions are going to have heat out, which means for us at least, it's going to appear warmer. Now, generally, when we're looking at deciding if something's endothermic or exothermic, we're going to use a special tool called a calorimeter. And this can be as simple as a coffee cup calorimeter, which is what we're going to use in this experiment. So we are looking at the sheet here, and it says endothermic versus exothermic. And so it kind of talks about, you can read through this, what it says here. Now, you'll notice on this sheet, it says, in this video, we'll show you how to work with a balance to weigh out solids. Now, we've already done a balance activity, but just in case we haven't, I have also linked on Canvas this link here, which you can watch that video. And so when you go to that video, right, it's going to say, right, here's how to work with a balance to weigh out solids if you have forgotten. Now, we're going to go back over here, and it says to start this activity, click the link for endothermic and exothermic. Now, there's no link, but where you need to go is to the calorimetry lab, and you can do that by clicking on this link here, and it'll open the calorimetry lab. You can see that we have a balance here for the calorimetry lab, and then you can see that this is our coffee cup calorimeter here. So the next thing you're going to do is there's going to be a bottle of sodium chloride on the lab bench, and a weigh paper will be on the balance with about 2 grams of NaCl. And so you can see they've already weighed that out for you here, and so that's what you can use. A calorimeter will be on the lab bench and filled with 100 milliliters of water. Make sure the stirrer is on, and you should see this shaft rotating. So when we look at this, that to me is really always very hard to see whether the stirrer is on or not. This is the stirrer, right? And this little bit here is that shaft they're talking about where it's rotating around. So that's where you're supposed to be looking, and it should be on for you. If it's not, so not on is going to be the red button. Just go ahead and click it to the green button there. Now, it says in the thermometer section of live data, click save data to begin recording, right? Until we come over here and we can save data to begin recording. Now, I had already kind of gotten into this before, so it's been running for a while, but that's okay. And then it says, in this video, we're going to show you how to add salt to the calorimeter. And for you to watch that, again, I've added that link, right? And here it is, calorimetry lab tips adding salt. And so that they're going to tell you they're going to show you how to drag that over and add the salt. So watch that. It's 24 seconds. It's nothing. So not a lot of time. Then we're going to come back over here, and what you're going to do is you are going to drag the weigh paper with the sample to the calorimeter until it snaps in place and pour the sample in the calorimeter. And you're going to observe the change in temperature until it reaches a minimum or maximum, and then record the data for an additional 20 to 30 seconds. Then you're going to click Stop Saving. You're going to open the lab book on the menu tray and record the temperature before adding NaCl and the highest and or lowest temperature after adding NaCl. And so what they're talking about there is, right, if we were to stop saving in our kind of live data here, this is the lab book they're talking about. And so you can come in here and see, I didn't add anything, but basically you would come down here and you would say, okay, what was the highest if it's exothermic that it got to, or if it's an endothermic process, what's the lowest it got to? And that's what they're asking you to record there. And so there's the temperature before and then the temperature after. Then you are going to click the red disposal bucket, right? And then you're gonna select the preset tray. So there's the presets. And so you're gonna come here, and for the preset tray, it says, click on the preset experiment heat of solution NaNO3. And so that's the heat of solution NaNO3. And so now we've got the lab configuration of NaNO3. If you want to double check that that's what you've done, you should see NaNO3 here, which is sodium nitrate, right? And so that's a good double check that you've everything has worked like it's supposed to. So after that, you will do kind of the same thing for that. You'll do the same thing for sodium acetate, which is abbreviated NaAC, okay? And then you will calculate the delta T, and delta T is just change in temperature for each mixture, and that's just the temperature after minus the temperature before. And so that'll tell us the change in temperature. And then you're going to identify which solutions, when they dissolved, are endothermic and which are exothermic. And then what would the sign of the change in enthalpy be in each case, right? So if something is exothermic, right, it's giving off heat, so that means itself is losing heat, so that would be a negative delta H. If something is endothermic, it's gaining heat, and so that delta H would be positive there, okay? And then which solution had little to no change in temperature? Because a solution doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be nothing, you know, there could be no change. And so that's something that you could see as well. So you're going to write these, you're not going to type these, and then you will scan them in and upload them back to Canvas. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.